Let me try that again. I said, boom, that's how you kick a show off, ain't it?
Yes, it is.
If you're not excited for tonight's show after watching that, you're on the wrong channel. So, first of all, welcome in, Benoit Fishing Outdoors. How's it going? Did they freeze? Am I freezing? Am I freezing or are you freezing?
I think we're both freezing.
Holy moly. We'll fumble our way through this here in just a second. Usually we got to go kick the kids off the internet, but I don't think they're not on. Oh, look at that. Laura the Explorer's in the house. Said, Benoit, whoo! Welcome in, Laura. Tommy Minnow Dunkers is in the house. He's dropping some information for an upcoming tournament this weekend. I'll try to circle back around and put that information out later in the show when we got some more folks. But Rocky Fork Lake's got a tournament coming up this weekend with Willie Smith and the gang, November 9th. This is Saturday, November 9th. 3 in a boat, 6 rod limit. 6 rods, 5 fish limit, 8 to 4. There we go. I was looking for the number. $60 a boat. So I'll circle back around, try to get that in there here just a little bit. Stonefly 71's in the house. What's up, brother? Mike Greenwell. Straighten up. My mama's in the house. I got to stop by this week and hang out a little bit with my mom and dad, catch up some with them. So mom could still use lots of prayers and love. She's on the struggle bus, trying to get this stuff all situated and taken care of. So she's at a long road, but she's tough and she's too stubborn to give up. So we love you, mama. Who else we got in here? Smoky Mountain Catfishing. What's going on, buddy? Thanks for stopping in. Tom LG Bass. There's Mr. Creole Catfishing. Miss you, buddy. I think Rocky Lake is like 6 hours for me. Well, Mike, I drive 6 hours all the time, but it's not for Rocky Fork, I guarantee you. So who else we got here? Randy Swain's in the house. What's up, Randy? Thanks for stopping in. Tom LG Bass. I might have said it once, but he deserves it twice if I did. 205 Wild Actions in the house. Welcome in. 922 Crappie Barbecue. What's up, Bobby? Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Well, it's awfully early. I don't mind earning them. That's all right. Oh, I missed him. Curtis, Wild Man. Quiet Man Curtis in the house. Do what?
Did you say loud man?
I said wild man, not loud man. It's quiet man.
I was like, why would you say that?
If you knew him, he's not quiet man Curtis. We need to get those boys out on the boat again here real soon. There's his brother, Fat Boy Eric's in the house. What's going on? Hello, all you booger picking butt scratchers. I think he's just been Brian B. wannabe. I don't know. He went from the butt scratching zipper sniffers. I don't know what he's talking about. Let's see. Let's make sure we get everybody included here. We got Carolina Catfish in the house. They won. They won an entry for the Goober Time Guide Service raffle. Those guys are doing over there. He won last night on Catfish Weekly, so that's cool. I love the challenge of the James River, but it has never been good to me. It has kicked. Don't get me wrong. We've caught fish there. All right. So I know maybe Stan and the boys, because we actually went out with Stan 2 and Stan 3. We actually fished the weekend we went just on a whim. Ended up being the weekend that Ryan Bortz decided to go. Has Life and his big boat was there. A bunch of people were there. And nobody had planned it. We just showed up one weekend.
That's crazy.
I caught fish, but it was like the toughest weekend or the week anyone has ever seen on the James River the week I go. So that's my luck. But
right, it happens.
But I definitely like it out there, and every time I go, I learn a little bit more, and so my confidence is getting up there a little bit. I would love to go in January. I think January is like monster fish month for the James River.
Okay.
I would like to go out there. It gets crazy to try to figure out that tidal river, but it is fun once you get the hang of it.
Right.
We're not here to talk about the James River. We're not here to talk about what I want to do, what Jackie wants to do. We're here to talk about you guys and the phenomenal success you guys are having with these giant flatheads. And I got to tell you, you're making me look bad because she keeps saying, why can't we catch big flatheads like that, Roger? What are you doing wrong? And I said, I don't know. I better ask for help. So I thought we would bring you guys on and talk a little bit about like how and when you guys target these flatheads, where you like to hunt them down, baits you like to use, rigs you like to use, conditions, plus or minus, things that you look for or don't, or if you just go fishing whenever you can. Well,
we already know they're more patient than we are.
We did find out you guys have way more patience than we do, which was probably the reason we're not on many flatheads. But
patience is definitely key. I will tell you that.
So let's go ahead and start there. So we'll get to how you find a location, when you want to set up a location. But once you've got all that, like, how long do you guys sit still if you think you're on a good spot for an opportunity to contact a big fish?
So a lot of the times when we're picking location, we pick a location that we know that is like usually a chokehold in the river area because these fish are going to move through eventually. It's a river area. So we'll purposely pick those areas knowing that the fish are going to move through there. And we will wait. Some locations, depending on how active the fish are, we'll wait up to an hour before we move spots. Some people go by half an hour rule. We just found an hour works better. I don't use fish sonar, so it's not like I see a fish down in the hole to see if it's there. So everything we're going off of is just using, the kitty calls for more noise under the water with live baits and stuff. Flatheads really seem to like the live baits. We've had way more success with live bait than dead bait.
That's always a controversial topic as far as, and we talk a lot about confidence, but I have a lot more confidence in flathead fishing with live bait opposed to cut bait. And we all know, we'll hear somebody say, I've never caught a flathead on live bait. It's only cut bait. And that happens. But for me personally, confidence is in it's funny that you say that, like the kitty calls and rattles and stuff. That's one of my favorite things to do is add it to a live bait because they're going to keep that thing cranking.
Air it up.
Yep. Yeah, the fish definitely you can hear the rattles. I mean, under the boat 5 feet with a channel cat on. So like, I can imagine what they're hearing under the water. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right. So let's back up to the beginning because we kind of jumped forward. So what is it that you guys look for? Let's say tomorrow you're going to go out and you've got some good live bait and you are going to go chase down a new PB flathead. What does that look like for you all?
So we are usually out either super late or super early in the morning, kind of that dusk dawn type fishing.
Yeah.
Usually early in the morning. We've had a lot of success. A lot of people say that you can only catch them at night. However, we prove to differ. We caught most of them during the daytime.
Yeah, if for some reason we don't catch a lot of our flatheads at night. Every time it's feeding in the morning as the sun's already been up 9-10 a.m. in the morning. So it's crazy. But a lot of our buddies, we know for a fact, like we've had people on a boat right 20 feet away from us and they're catching them all night long. I don't know.
One of those things,
I got you.
We usually, obviously you're looking for your deep structure holes. Like she said, we usually sit in like a channel, creek mouth, anywhere we can kind of set up. There's a constant flow of water. The water is constantly moving a little bit into like a nook or a cranny, somewhere up against the bank where the water is like kind of pushing in. Down trees. We fish a lot of down trees. I'm sure Roger, Jackie, with all the down trees and debris and everything that we have in Ohio, polluted waters, but lots of structure. I will say that.
Absolutely. So on these live baits, do you guys have favorite live baits that seem to outperform, or something you have more confidence in, or is it just about what you can catch?
Usually all year long we go for gills. That's pretty much our main bait. All year long, whether we're chasing channels, blues, flatheads, whatever, bowfin. It's just something we can get a hold of regularly and steadily, constantly, all the time. We have a what is that bait tank in there? How many gallons?
Oh yeah, we have a 40-gallon aquarium running all the time in the one room of the house that we keep like hand-sized bluegill in most of the time.
Pet bluegill in the house
Pet
all
bluegill.
year long. So.
They're
Sorry,
cycled
Billy.
out.
Sorry, Billy, we're putting you in.
Yep.
Yeah, we cycle through them. We'll try and like use up the ones that we got from like the last week or whatever and keep them fresh and rotated. Usually we, the last few years we use creek chubs a lot, but this year was completely different.
Yeah, there's no creeks to go fish for creek chubs, so we didn't have luck finding them this year like we've had in the past.
Everything was dried up. I think we got to fish creek chub hole one time, and that was at the very, very beginning of summer, and that was about as good as our creek chub bait got.
Yeah.
There you go. Jeremy says, when pets become baits.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hey,
can I pet your fish, right?
Yeah, when you got the fever, he said earlier, he said, thanks to you guys, he's got the yellow cat fever right now. Seeing what you guys have been up to. So I think it's kind of all of us, like we're all saying is like, man, I want to go get some flatheads. Look at the size of these things, man. You guys are really putting some nice fish in the boat. And so I'll back up a little bit because you guys haven't even had like a fish finder for that long, right?
Correct. We had one with the Starcraft that we had at the beginning of the year on that boat. And then on the newest boat that we have, I put a brand new depth finder on there. So most of the time I don't hook it up. So we roam without it. But there are times where I will hook it up just so I can see the depth. So I'm not hitting the motor on the bottom and stuff like that, because some of the areas we go in, it's really shallow.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Welcome in, Stan 3. Not sure if he's talking to you guys or not. He says, how's that motor treating you? Is that for you?
Yep. We're motor twinsies.
Yeah, he has a bigger 1950s Johnson motor than we do.
There you go. Hey, man, they built them good back in the day. We actually just bought 2 boats this week. We bought a Starcraft and a Sylvan, and one's a 80 something and one's a 70 something. She's in love with the 78 Sylvan. It's like mustard yellow. It looks like looks like baby shit on the inside. It's all original. Like I'm talking.
It is. It's really nice.
Every bit of it.
Carpet.
Huh?
That's awesome though.
Orange shag carpet.
Yes. I told her she's gonna get some fuzzy dice for the mirror because that's the only way we can finish this thing off. It is. I think it's ugly as sin, but it is in fantastic condition. It was a second owner that we got it from. Really well taken care of. So we got some plans for it. We got some plans for the Starcraft. Starcraft's going to become our main boat for a while I put a new floor and try to custom build new windshield and do some major reconstruction on the Muskrat, because turns out I'm not a very good carpenter. I put a floor in like 4 or 5 years ago and it's got weak already. So yeah, I'm not very good.
At least the more project boats always gives you something else to do too. So
Lots of options.
There we go. Danny says, I fished for hours at my campsite without a bite. The Benoits walked up and caught a fish in about 15 minutes. I was like, okay, it's going to be like that, huh?
That wasn't me, Danny. That was her.
Yeah, it was me. I threw out the only live bait we were using. And of course, it was a green sunfish. Us and those bluegill. We go places and everyone's throwing out shad and stuff. And I'm like, I'm going to get me a bluegill real quick.
What's up,
We do
Jerry?
use shad sometimes too.
What is it?
We do use shad sometimes too.
It's almost time for your guys' monster shad. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've got to come up and get a part of that because I love shad.
It's so much fun.
And it's just fun to do. It's very fun.
You guys are snagging them, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That sounds like a lot of fun.
It wears you out, but it's fun.
It's so much fun.
I think
can
last
imagine.
year, how big is that tote that we have? It's like 100-gallon tote. I could lay inside it. You can fit a grown man inside of it. It's like over 100-gallon tote, and we filled it in like less than 2 hours by the time that we showed up and threw lines in the water. And she's like, "Stop! You have to stop. We have to put this in the car. You have to stop!" Like,
yeah, I've been there, done that. We've been catching skipjack before, and the cooler's full. You can't put any more in. It's like, stop catching fish. Like, just stop.
It's so much fun.
yeah.
Like, I'll throw them back. Like, it's time to go catfishing. Like, we got enough bait. Stop it.
We had just got our new Subaru last year, and she went over a bump, and the lid popped off. And I was like, "Oh my God, if these shad go all over this new Subaru, like we are screwed."
Shad's
welcome in, Crappy Day, Darren. I think a couple other folks popped in as well. We got eyeballs on you. So nooks and crannies, deep ledge of structures, and things like that. Live bluegill seem to be your go-to. We know you like the kitty calls. So what size hooks and rigs are you guys using? Like, if you don't mind, start your hook and go clear back to your rod and reel, and kind of fill everybody in on what you guys have been using.
So we usually use 8 to 9 aught. I don't go any higher than a 9 aught with flatheads, with the circle hooks that we use, which are the Trophy Cat circle hook, light bent. They seem to work really well with the live baits. So we go hook, depending on if I want to use a kitty call or a peg float. There's usually a peg float or a kitty call when I'm flathead fishing. I like to suspend it a little bit.
Sandy rig.
Yeah. So sandy rig style, with about 1.5 feet leader to a swivel to my weight slide. And then, of course, my Trophy Cat rod with my PC Fun reel, medium heavy. I don't use massive rods for the flatheads. They put up a heck of a fight, though. So,
yeah.
With
I found myself doing the same thing. Some of these bigger, heavy-duty rods, they have a time and a place. Dead of winter, when we got extreme current on the Ohio, I do run a heavy rod, because I'll be throwing 20 ounces, 16 ounces of lead. And you got to have a pretty stout rod to sling that thing any distance at all. And when you do hook a fish, I mean, you're fighting the fish in a ton of current. But outside those conditions, I found myself really dialing back on the action of my rods and really enjoying the fight, and not trying to rip his head off and put him in the boat as quickly as possible, but like slowing down a little bit and enjoying it. I hear a lot of that, especially watching J-Dog fish here lately. He's been taking folks out, and he's like, slow down. Just enjoy it. Enjoy
Sometimes
the
we
fight.
get too excited and you just reel it in real quick and you're like, I just want to see it.
Yeah. So go ahead.
We always try to keep control of the fish the best we can, because we're in such a small vessel. With an anchor rope out is the only time we try to keep control of those fish, because we had Allison's 43-pound that she caught this year decided to go completely under the boat to the front of the boat, and you could see it splashing at the front of the boat. And I was like, please don't get caught in the anchor lines, because we've had to pull anchor lines up off the bottom,
untangle,
de-hook
grab
the fish,
the line,
drop it back down. Small boat fishing is definitely fun, but it's not for the faint of heart either. So
yeah, no kidding. I'm lucky. I'm spoiled. I've got spot lock. I don't drop an actual anchor very often. Extreme currents, I will, just to save the trolling motor battery. But other than that, I'm pretty spoiled.
That's one of the upgrades that's definitely going to come this year. We want to get a spot lock trolling motor to put on the front end of that boat, so we can fish a lot easier, because we don't drag or anything like that for any of the fish that we fish for.
We're anchored all the time.
We're anchored all the time when we fish. So we always tell people that too, like, you don't have to have the trolling motor to go out and fish. Like, you can anchor and get on big fish or even channel cats. So,
well, I mean, you guys, until recently, you guys haven't had a trolling motor or a fish finder, and y'all just going out there and having fun and catching fish. And you don't have to have the biggest, most expensive equipment out there to have a good time.
Oh no.
Now I will say that a GPS enabled trolling motor opens up a lot more options as far as like dragging. Man, laying a track down and being able to drag a track is like the bee's knees. It's like my go-to. If I can't bump, that is all I want to do is lay a track and drag. That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll. Yeah, Jeremy's saying it'll change your life. Trust me. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, and depending on the size of your boat, like you don't have to have like a 36 volt, 112 pound thrust. I mean,
right.
You guys,
yeah, no, in our boat's tiny.
Tiny, yeah. That's not going to take a whole lot to hold you all still. Now, if you plan to venture out on the Ohio River and do much fishing, I would up, like if you were thinking about a 12 volt, I would consider a 24 just for that flexibility. You know what I mean? You might not think, I probably won't never do that. But if you could afford it, you could put a 24 volt and 2 lithium batteries in and be less weight than a one big lead acid battery on a 12 volt.
Right.
So, and the prices of them are going down so much. Like you can get a lithium now for like 170, 180, 200 compared to like 900 a year ago.
Yeah. Right.
So Curtis Cunningham's in there said, I couldn't wait to lay a track, and 2 years later, never have, only used the heading lock. Curtis.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I don't know if we would ever lay a track either. I feel we would still just anchor in one spot and fish. We're just those type of people. Like, I don't know. I'm not like how you were talking about the other day and you were like, oh, I just can't sit still. I'm literally that person's like, I can't wait to just go out there and just sit on the water. There's been days if we catch fish, I'm not kidding, we've sat in one spot for over 10 hours because we were catching fish. I was like, why would we leave the spot? Like, we're catching fish. Like,
well, I mean, that's that old saying goes, if you don't leave fish to find fish.
Correct. Yeah. Most of the time I regret doing it because then I don't find the fish when I move. So
Did you have something?
I was going to ask if they had a trolling motor they want. Which one? What one?
Oh, she was going to ask. Why didn't you just ask?
Oh,
Just
you
tell
asked me. I don't know.
You tell me.
Do you have a specific trolling motor that you're wanting, and why?
We haven't looked too much into. I just know that we want something that spot locks for sure, so that we can anchor like easier in one spot. Because having that rope down when you're fighting a 40-pound flathead and it wants to go any direction it wants isn't always the easiest thing. And they know that stuff's down there. I swear to you, they see it and they purposely will take you to it to try to get you off because they don't want to be on there. They're super intelligent. It's not like a channel cat. I swear they act a fool no matter what, channel cats. But flatheads, it's like they know. It's crazy. So I think having the spot lock on the front end would help. But no, I haven't looked into quite any of the motors. Right now, I just have the Mini Coda 55-pound thrust on the back. We took the gas motor off because it's starting to get cold. So
Absolutely. Stunfly says somebody wants to buy me a 24-volt trolling motor, that he'd be up for it. JG Hill wants to know if you catch more flatheads drifting or anchored.
Always anchored.
Yeah.
Yep. But we do watch people all around us, and they do drag for flatheads.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of them use the kitty calls and stuff with dragon weights and stuff like that behind, and I've seen them catch flatheads that way. So it's definitely it's not possible to catch them that way. So I just have more luck with anchoring. So.
Well, before that, we had the big boat for a little while, but before that, we were only on a 12-foot plastic Pelican intruder.
Yes.
So,
yeah, last year, if you watch most of our flathead videos, you'll see we were catching them pretty much in a tandem kayak. So
yeah, for two.
Yeah. This year, it's been definitely better having the 13-foot boat, but it's almost 6 feet wide, so you can still definitely walk way more and handle fish way easier than in that little boat.
Jerry admits that he's messed up leaving fish all the time looking for a giant. You leave fish to go find fish and end up not catching anything else because of it.
I always tell Allison when we're in the little ones, I'm like, listen, there can't just be little ones down there. There has to be a big one. And every freaking time we will get a big one. It just happens. Like it's like you got to wait out the little ones, let them eat all the bait and stuff, and then finally you'll catch the big one. Like,
yeah. Let me see here. Let's try to get back to what I was doing. Oh shoot! I just had a question for you and I completely dropped it. No, what? It was a comment. It wasn't. It was talking about how you guys have moved from the plastic boat a year ago to, the Starcraft, and then you all had to let it go to get the boat that you're in now. But like, just watching you guys in a year, how much you've grown and developed. I mean, if you guys want to throw your promo codes out there, you guys are was sponsored by or pro staff for Trophy Cat Tackle.
yes.
Who else you got?
We're sponsored by Trophy Cat Tackle, which you could use code Benoit Fish 15. We're also sponsored by the great clothing brand Catfish, which you can use Benoit Fish 20. And of course, the awesome Blue River Carp. Great bait to always have in the tackle bag. This stuff never goes bad. I've opened it and it does not like go bad. It's the craziest thing. So like if you need bait and you ever run out, stuff's great in a pinch.
It's great for cold weather season. It lets off that nice oil slick, all that extra scent in the water.
And
I've not tried it. I got to be honest. I'm so skeptical because I'm such a bait snob, wanting fresh bait all the time.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah, but I hear people having success with this. I need to just break down and try some, but I just haven't done it yet.
The best place I've ever had luck with it too is at Hoover Reservoir.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yes, they seem to love it in there, and I think it's because there's so much carp naturally there that they feed off the carp dying and stuff in the winter, and I think the catfish love it. So,
now they have different flavors, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
The shad and the blood is my favorite.
Yes.
That makes
Those
sense.
are two main go-tos.
That's that would be my go-to as well, because that's the bait I naturally want. Bloody bait or fresh shad. So
yeah.
And
I just know
Nick's
myself. What is it?
Nick's kind of playing around too. He's always changing stuff and doing different signature blends, and he's playing around with like a dog food treat thing now for dogs. It's kind of all natural, just to kind of put a use to getting the carp out of the waterways and putting it for a good use other than catfish bait. And
yeah, no kidding. JG Hill says definitely been fun watching the Benoits grow.
Thank you,
I couldn't agree more. Do they have a biscuits and gravy flavor? Jerry wants to know.
No, I don't think I would try it if they did.
is Josh gonna eat it?
Right.
Oh, right. Somebody asked how much is a pack of that Blue River carp bait?
It's really not that expensive.
No, I think you can get a pack usually. I think $6 to $7.
Yeah, there's also different sizes too.
Okay.
Different size packaging. You can also find it on Amazon, but our discount codes will not work on Amazon. So if you want to use the discount code to get extra off, go to Blue River Carp.
And that is Benoit Fish 10 if you want to use it there.
There you go. I agree with Stan. He says chicken is getting expensive as a backup bait.
No joke. Chicken is expensive nowadays.
Yeah, no kidding.
Sale at Kroger's this week. Buy one, get one.
You got some?
The bags on there are 16 ounces for $12.50. So, and then they're cut into pretty big chunks. He cuts them in, which is nice. He cuts them into like bigger 3-4 inch chunks, or bigger if you want, slices, wide, doesn't matter. You can get a hold of them if you want something custom, but he usually leaves them pretty big. And we only usually put like a 2x2 piece on there. So it kind of gives you that option of you want a big bait or a medium bait or a small bait, and then you can just cut it down to whatever you want instead of having just all small, medium, or all large.
Right. Huh. I just wondered with it going, it's funny to say that it works good in the wintertime, because I would have thought that the oils and stuff like that, as the water gets cold, would keep it from dissipating like warm water would.
You'd
But,
be surprised. You'll use that bait for like 2 hours, and I'm not kidding. You'll pull it out of the water, and it's like a rainbow effect still on the surface.
Really?
Yes, that stuff is very oily, and whatever he uses is some good stuff.
Huh. I gotta be honest. I said the same thing about Monster Catfishing. Come out with an oil extract called hog juice, and I feel like some of that stuff I just feel is real gimmicky, right? I gotta be honest. He gave me a bottle of it, and I'm like, I don't know if I ever use it. Like I'm a
You're
like
skeptical of everything.
yeah, I'm skeptical of everything. That's just my personality.
Super soft.
But when we got into that tournament, whatever it was, the sudden death, whatever it was, and we were on fish at Sandusky like crazy, and then boom, nothing. We're like surrounded by the same fish we were catching the whole time, and could not get a bite, and almost got eliminated because we hadn't caught a fish in an hour at Sandusky. And we're like, I don't know what else to try. We've tried everything. And I got out that hog juice and I poured some. Well, I poured like half a bottle on accident. poured Zach's brand new Sea Arc boat, but I poured some on some chicken and I threw it out. And I don't even know if it hit the bottom. And it, bam, they hit it. And I was like, put that shit on everything.
Yeah,
do it now.
And so we made it into sudden death, and we did. We put that extract on all of our bait and threw it out, and we won the tournament. And I'm like, I should be less skeptical. I should try more things.
yeah.
Channel cats are those weird fish too. It's like they want something different every now and again. They're such a weird fish.
Well, that's the nice thing about having a bait like that too, is if you are in a pinch or a pickle, or you didn't get bait, or you stop getting bites, like you have that extra option. So normally we always have bluegill. And if I don't have bluegill, normally we would have creek chubs other than this year. So we usually try to have like 2 to 3 baits. Goldfish we use sometimes if we're in a pinch, but it's nice to have all that extra bait so you can be like, okay, well, I've tried this, I've done this, I've threw out this, like now what am I doing wrong?
Yeah, and honestly, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
You know, if you're just having a tough day and you're like, man, like the other day for the whatever tournament we was in Saturday, what was it called? The Whisker Cup or whatever it was. I had been fishing in the same stretch of the Ohio for like a week and a half, and every day I averaged 20 fish and a lot of good fish, like 20 plus, which is good for our water, and even one almost 50 pounds. The day of the tournament, same. We caught fresh bait. We caught fresh skipjack, fresh white bass. We had fresh everything. Caught 3 fish the entire day. We're like, what the?
Yeah.
Now we had a cold front come in, and the barometer dropped out on us, which kind of caused things.
Doing that.
Which is going to happen tomorrow too, by the way.
Yeah, it seems to be doing that like this week
back and forth.
During the week, it's really nice and warm, and then right before the weekend comes, it does this cold drop, and you're like, no, come on.
And it's windy.
You gotta love Ohio.
It is hard to beat the wind today, though. It's been pretty tough. I think we're supposed to get rain all day tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, we definitely need the rain now.
I agree. My fish bite way better on the river with some current, and we haven't had like nothing for a while now. It's tough.
Yeah, no, I definitely get it. The musking, I'm in a lot of spots. The boat ramps are
super
thank
low.
God we have such a little boat, because some of the bigger boats, you can just tell these dudes have a heck of a time getting them in there. And I'm just like, I am so glad my boat is so little.
That's one of the reasons why we chose not to test it out. I think it was like 2 weekends ago, we went to Racine instead of the Muskingum, and I had wanted to go, but we were going so early. We were so nervous because it still hadn't been raining much that we weren't familiar with the boat ramps, and we had seen where some people were saying that it was super low, and we were like,
Yeah, my boat's 22 feet long, so I gotta have a little bit of water.
Yeah, I totally get it.
Even Sandusky Bay, it's really low out by Clemens Boat Dock. Like it's just a mud hole right now. You can't even launch from there unless you've got a mud motor and you're just puttering through there.
Yeah, I saw Tyra post about it. You
Can't launch at Clemens.
No, not right now.
Shelby Street it is.
I know. We definitely need some rain in Ohio. It would help a lot of the ecosystems. You can tell, like, the flathead didn't move as much this year. We could tell they were sitting all on top of each other in these big, deep holes this year. And it definitely seemed like it's because they weren't moving up the river like they normally do.
Poor Jerry, we're sitting there talking about the lack of water, and he's saying fish is going to suck here the next several days due to the massive flooding. They have so much debris and leaves in the water that fishing is impossible. So it's
you gotta love how that works. Most of the other states are either dealing with flooding or they're like us and they're stuck in a drought. So.
It's all one extreme or the other. There's like nobody's got like good stuff. So
that's probably what'll happen here. We'll get a flood instead of rain.
Let's see. Jerry, you're sending me trashy water, and I've got a hurricane headed up my back door. Oh boy.
Yeah.
You guys have been in for it down there. You guys got to get out and do a little bit of traveling this year, right? So you guys got to do some fishing with Danny and some of the guys.
Yes, that was a lot of fun.
Tell us a little bit about that and what you guys might be looking forward to next year if you guys have thought that far ahead.
Yeah, we've definitely been thinking far ahead this year. We know for a fact we're going to CatCon this year. We're really wanting to try to go to the gathering for the first time this year. I feel like that'd be a lot of fun, and just to hang out with that many like-minded people is just a lot of fun. So,
and fish the Tennessee River.
Yeah, and fish the Tennessee for the first time. So
there you go. That's a great opportunity. I gotta be honest. The gathering is like one of our absolute favorites. Just the people, the fishing there is really good. Well, can be really good. We didn't do great this year, but we had our hands full. But we really enjoyed it. We also are great friends with some folks in Ohio, Bink and Janet Fox, and they run a cancer research or benefit tournament every year, and it's the same weekend every year. No matter where Daryl moves, that's their weekend they got. I'm like, crap. And so we've come to the decision that we can't just not do one or the other, so we have to alternate years. So it doesn't look like we're going to make the gathering this year because we're going to do the Big Fox tournament. But it hurts our hearts because we really do enjoy that one.
Well, I'm pretty sure you will be missed. So
I don't know about that, but we will. Huh?
Oh yeah, maybe we can find out Jackie.
Oh, maybe Jackie will be missed. Oh, okay. She was going to be missed. She was going with you all.
We got room.
She's out here claiming these boats already. She started nicknaming them, talking about how she's going to paint one like a mermaid theme.
No.
I heard.
These ones will not be mermaid.
Not this time.
Not this time. I'm waiting for my perfect pontoon.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well, we only need one deep V in this family, and we all know that's going to stay the Muskrat. Right now, the game plan is take everything off the Muskrat, put it on that Starcraft. It's got a 70-horse Evinrude on it. It seems to be like a great run little motor.
Great.
I'll use it through the winter until we get the Muskrat done, and then once I get everything done, it's all going back on that boat, or most of it's going back on that. It depends on what I get, and then I'm going to sell the Starcraft and everything on it.
Okay.
And what?
That's another thing we're going to save up for this year is to get a 9.9 to put on the back of there so we can go to a lot more places like Hoover and get out there more because I really want to do some more fishing for blues, especially, and start getting after those blues. I think we got the channels and the flatheads kind of down, so I want to start aiming towards the blues for sure.
There's not many places in Ohio to fish for blues. They're getting on the stocking, but it's going to take time for anything close to us to take off. Clendenning's closer to us. We've had luck with blues there. My biggest was like a 16 to 18 pound blue cat, but I know in Hoover they can get much bigger. So,
oh yeah, I think 50 and 60 is about the upper limit, but there are several fish. So, Hoover's one of these phenomenal lakes that have a growth rate double the average for Ohio. So average growth rate in Ohio is 2 pounds. Average growth rate 2 pounds a year for a blue cat, and average growth rate in Hoover is over 4 pounds a year. Well, if that's the average, there are several fish that are over that, right?
Over,
To keep that kind of average. And so, they stocked that in 2011, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, the year I graduated.
Yeah. So the fish there, they got some dandies.
They're hiding somewhere.
I mean, Mr. Funk has shown us quite a few nice ones out of there. So
Oh yeah. Here's the thing. I get so jealous because I watch Dave, right? And I see all the fish he's catching. I'm like, man, I was just there. Dave puts in like Friday and doesn't even come off the water till like Sunday afternoon, Sunday night. That's like he doesn't leave. Yeah, exactly. He's putting the time in, and he deserves every one of those fish because he has worked his guts out for him.
Yep.
Shoot, what was I going to say? How do you guys do with cold weather? Cold weather. That's what I thought I said.
I mean, we don't stop fishing. If there's not ice on the water, I'm that crazy person. I'm out there. I mean, last year we were fishing Christmas for channel cats. As far as the flatheads go, I've seen videos of people catch flatheads in the colder seasons. I'm not sure if these fish are actually like feeding or if they're just catching them out of the deep holes because that's where they're sitting. I'm not sure. I've never had luck with, like, after the water starts to get under 50 degrees here in Ohio, it's very hard to catch flatheads. They just seem to shut completely down.
Dormant.
Yeah, they seem to go almost dormant or something.
They do.
But
that's a fact.
We definitely channel catfish, though, the entire year. Channels do not give up, and neither do blue cats. They feed all year long. So.
Well, the reason I'm asking is because November and December are some big fish months for the Ohio River. And we still told you guys to come down and do a Ohio River trip. Mm-hmm. We need to put that in the works real quick before I tear down the Muskrat, because when we go to the Star Crab, we put Magnus in the boat, and the first thing he says, man, this is small.
This is really small.
It's really small.
Why is this so small?
It's an 18-foot. It's an 18-foot Starcraft, and he's like, "This is really small. Why is it so small? This boat is small." I'm like, "Shut up!"
Like the whole way to school, like he just was so concerned on why that boat was so much smaller. And like,
that's so funny.
I mean, it is, but like,
Randy wants to know what the water. Randy wants to know what the water temp is in the Ohio right now. I know what it is on the river. I don't know what you guys are getting. We're getting 63 degrees on the Ohio, our pool.
So our lakes are going back and forth. We did hit 50. So a couple, 2-3 weeks back,
it was 50.
I thought the flathead bite was done.
Yeah, it was 52 degrees at a few of the smaller inland lakes, but we were at Mosquito Lake on Saturday.
It was 50,
and it was 56
again.
So it's getting low for sure.
JG Hill hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find aluminum that I can afford. I've got a couple folks that have connections with ODOT that are talking about getting me some retired road signs to use for the flooring. I don't care if I got a jigsaw puzzle this thing to floor together, because I'm going to cover it once it's all said and done. But I'm the same as JG Hill. I'm tired of I don't want to put a wood floor in every 4 or 5 years. I want to put aluminum in and be done with it and not be going through this again.
I totally get it.
Try to find aluminum that I can afford, but yeah, that's where we're trying to go with it. That's what I'm saying. I'm not gun ho on it yet because I haven't found the aluminum I need. So I'm still using the boat, and it's safe. It's just I had a bad spot. I cut it out, put a new spot in. Now I got another spot that's getting soft. I'm like, I'm just going to keep chasing these around until I just pull it out.
Replace the whole floor, yeah.
Yeah. So I picked up these boats at a good price, and I'll flip them later.
Yeah, there you go. For sure. And it always gives you something to do. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like she doesn't give me enough stuff to do.
I know we got lucky with the little boat that we have. The old man that owned it before us, he put it's a big piece of starboard. I don't know how much he paid for this, but the whole floor of it is starboard that he stuck down in there and then put vinyl flooring over it. But it works phenomenal. And I was like, and it should never rot like wood. So like, I don't want to make the floor flat because I don't want to put wood in there. So now it's just like kind of like this. So but it works really well.
Well, at least if you drop something, it rolls right down to the middle.
Yep. Yeah, every time.
I'm sure you can hear it in all our videos.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If we both move to one side of the boat, if everything shifts, it just slides into that middle part of the boat.
There you go.
Hmm.
Yeah, that'll be a little bit different on these boats here, being much narrower and smaller. Is a little more wobbly than what we're used to. But I gotta be honest, we're just spoiled with what we've got. I went big or go home when I got my first deep V, and I can't go back now.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Once we're hoping to hopefully buy a house within the next few years, and once we get a property and stuff, Allison really, we've been talking about pontoons as well. So
yes,
I think the pontoons are just going to be better with the kids. They love being out on the DV, but I think just my dad got a pontoon this year, and the kids got to go out on that pontoon, and then they were like, "We want to boat like this." I'm like,
well, yeah, because
it's much more fun.
Play.
Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely more family oriented. That's what I told her. I said I could put my grill on there. I said we can camp. I can cook food. I was like, we don't even have to leave the water. The dogs can just have their space. Like, we're good.
So you just mentioned cooking, and Danny Stone chimes in. Besides fishing, the Benoits can cook. I gained 5 pounds eating rigatoni and cheesy garlic bread that they made.
That sounds delicious.
That's funny because when we were in Crab Orchard, so Danny was there, Josh, Parker,
Josh's wife and his kids.
Yep.
And we all ate before a tournament and stuff. And Josh's wife brought all these desserts and stuff. So like by the time we were done eating, like my eyes were about to bust out of my head. I just wanted to go to sleep. Like
she's like, you need to stop making food. And I was like, yeah, but they're guys, like they're gonna eat food. Like it's not enough.
So there was a lot of leftovers. That's why Danny was talking about it. And he said he ate it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I was like, well, at least it didn't go to waste. Like,
I remember saying it in the group chat. I was like, oh man, that was even worse not being there, because we couldn't make it. But I'm spending some time down there with Danny and Jerry. Knows it's going to happen, but it looks like it's going to happen it looks like it's going to happen after I get the boat rebuilt. So I'm going to rebuild the boat first, and then we're going to take a tour around the country.
There you go.
Nice.
That'd be amazing.
We're going to Louisiana. That's like number one on our list. We're going to go down and see Jeremy and hang out with
him. She wants to go down to Louisiana. That's where those Benoit roots come from. So.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, my family is from Louisiana, French area. So.
I got you. You guys visit and see them? Go down there?
Most of my family has moved out of there since then. A lot of them are now in Texas because it's real easy to go from Louisiana to Texas down there.
Right.
But we are hopefully going to take a trip down south this summer. So
that'd be cool.
Yeah, there you go.
In the summer.
Huh?
In the summer.
In the summer, no.
I am not. Heat is not my friend.
She does not like the heat.
Oh, I totally get it.
My best friend lives in Arizona, and she's like, "Come stay with me." And I'm like,
February or March, maybe.
Yeah,
in December.
Yeah. She's like, "I wore a jacket today. It was a brisk 90," and I'm like, "Duh."
No, she was crying. She was like, it sounded like she was in tears because it was 63. She was like, "It was freaking 63 degrees." I'm like, "It was 34 here. Like, get over it."
Right. You know nothing about the cold.
Jerry says on a pontoon on a lake would be a flathead fisherman's dream to camp out on the lake. Like, yeah, you could just, put up shop and not have to leave. I mean,
yeah,
that's the plan.
You get a luggable loo.
Good to go.
Yep.
You're good to go.
Yep.
See, I've fished out of a pontoon boats for many years. Pros and cons for every boat. Pontoon is very comfortable, but wind is a problem with them, trailering in high wind mostly.
I can imagine that.
I was, again, I went big or go home. So the only pontoon boat I've owned was 30 foot.
Oh, dang.
So I didn't get pushed around a lot on the road.
Right.
On the water, it did catch a lot of wind, but I fished the river and anchored out the front mostly. So I treated it just like a regular deep V catfish boat.
Right.
I did put all the rod holders on one side, and I started to turn the boat, put an anchor on the front and back, and turn the boat completely sideways and fish all 30 feet instead of just fishing out the back. Yeah, there were times when we got ready to move. I had a whole dam built up on one side of the boat that just been debris just been building up against me. I was like, oh God. Lisa says we're planning a trip to Ohio one day. I need to see my brother 922 Bobby. Oh man, make sure we know about that.
Yeah.
We would love to meet up and meet you guys. Bobby and you guys.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
We just put something together and I'll just meet up. Even if we just meet up for dinner or something, it'd be cool to hang out with y'all. But if you're down for fishing, we'll go do that.
Right.
We don't turn down fishing trips very often. Try not to.
I know the feeling.
Benoit is South Louisiana roots for sure, says Jeremy.
Yep.
Jerry says,
yeah, we definitely want to fish the Ohio River more, and that was another reason we wanted to get a bigger motor because we fished.
We fished the mouth opening, so the Muskingum offlets into the Ohio down there, and we've fished the mouth opening, and I've sat pretty much in the Ohio, just on the mouth opening of the Muskingum, and it's intimidating watching those big barges go by without a big enough motor to get around them.
It's only a 1957 3 horsepower and a 55-pound thrust trolling motor.
We're sitting there looking at the calendar. We're going to figure out our availability, and we're going to get you guys on the Ohio.
For sure. That would be great.
They might want Hoover.
Or you might want Hoover. Yeah, I didn't think about that. If you'd rather do Hoover.
No, I don't care.
We could do
you know that anywhere in any direction in Ohio is 2 to 3 hours, so it doesn't matter where you live.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
it literally is.
Yeah, everybody's like, how long does it take you? It takes me an hour to get to any blue cat. At least an hour to get to any blue cat in Ohio is the minimum an hour, up to 2.5 hours, depending on where we go. So
when we go down to the Muskingum, we've got trips that are almost 3.
3.
So, yeah.
Well,
it takes us. We were looking at going to the Muskingum, and it was going to be, I think, 2 hours and 20 minutes from our house.
Yeah.
To hit McConnellsville.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you guys are like almost an hour south of us.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, we're like an hour from Columbus, an hour from Dayton, an hour from Cincinnati.
Yep. So you're like an hour, just over an hour south of us.
Yeah, because we're like 2 hours away from Columbus.
Yeah, I got you. Let's see. I seen something else there. Wind does make the tune a lot harder to deal with. Yeah.
Wind makes everything hard.
But when you get these other boats, like we look at a Hughes craft, right? And we all drop chin on it and like, oh man, that'd be awesome. Imagine the wind that thing catches. Or we all put our, bikini tops up whenever we go out. It's not bikini. And you're going to catch wind. These deep V's, they stick up high out of the water. They catch wind. I mean, the wind is a little worse with the pontoon, I'll agree, but I don't think it's unbearable. I don't think it's a big enough factor to give up all the pros that come with the
luxuries.
We are definitely going to get another pontoon. The day I sold mine, I instantly regretted it, and I've regretted it every day since, because I didn't realize how rare a 30-footer was until it was gone.
Right.
I was like, oh crap, I can't find another one of these.
Right.
And even at 30 foot,
it's gone.
Don't look at me. I'm not going anywhere. Stop it. Yeah, Jeremy says some of us are just spoiled. There you go. Oh, we might have been talking about the weather. Florida people wear parkas in 60-degree weather.
And Ohio wearing shorts and a t-shirt.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was 60. Wow, actually, it got warmer than that today. But this morning it was 60 degrees. I was out in shorts and t-shirt.
Yeah, it was weird.
I know. I was at work and I was like, why is it every day that it's like this? We're at work.
Yep. Matt says Muskingum is good river, especially south end.
Yes.
Yes, I just me personally, because I like current, right? I like the Ohio, which actually doesn't have any current, but I don't imagine any other river having any current right now, since the Ohio has none.
Correct.
So to me, I feel like I would want to cling closer to where the river would meet the Ohio, just for the sake of intercepting fish moving in and out. Because, but I mean, we see posts and flatheads, giant flatheads up, north end of the north and middle of Muskingum. So I say if we go far enough north, we wouldn't have a real shot at a good blue. So we'd only have to target flatheads, and we just have to sit still and keep our mouth shut.
Yeah. Sitting still is the hardest part.
What is it?
Sitting still is the hardest part.
It would be really hard.
Yeah. Trying to be quiet. But
yeah,
I don't know. I don't. So do you guys pay much attention to that? So I know that there's a lot of people that have different thoughts and opinions on that, exactly. Staying quiet on the boat when fishing for flatheads. Do you guys have a general rule of thumb? No music. You can't do this, that.
Usually we're pretty quiet. If we're out all night, sometimes we'll fall asleep and catch a nap on the boat, and you're waking up to either your reel going off, or you can just hear that big thump, or if it's during the day, one of us is kind of keeping watch and the other one's taking a nap. But we usually don't make too much noise. Like she said, that we have that bottom of the boat is that starboard, so it's real noisy. You can hear every little bit of movement, so we try not to move. And if there's no wind or anything like that, it's like pretty much prime key for us. Like, we've caught almost all of our flathead on non-windy days, believe it or not, on the calmest water pretty much.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I guess we backwards fish from everybody else. I don't know. We use left-handed reels. Maybe that's why.
And you're right-handed.
And right-handed.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we don't talk or anything like that. Most of the holes we're fishing in that type. So in the fall, we spend time fishing the deeper holes. But once spring comes and we're spring flathead fishing, we're fishing the shallows, the stump fields, stuff where they're going to hide and they're going to search for bait. So in the fall, we're in such deep water. Some of the water we're fishing is 25 to 30 feet. Sometimes those holes that we're fishing, because I'll purposely pick holes. And because what they do in the winters, they seem to go into those deep holes to winter. And I've noticed too, we don't hit holes very hard. So like when we caught those 240 pounders, we moved out of that hole to move away, because it seems like if you mess with the flatheads too much in that hole, they will move away and not come back to that hole. I've noticed that. So it's learning the flatheads itself. I don't know if quiet or anything has to do with it, because those kitty calls are probably very loud in the water. So I would think that noise wouldn't affect them too much. And then every boat motor that goes by you and stuff like that, I mean, I don't know how much noise would affect them. They have to be used to some of it because they live in the water. So I don't know.
We're just generally quiet people and sit back and enjoy nature. And
absolutely, like some of our favorite trips, we didn't catch a fish or didn't catch many fish. It was like the experience and seeing the eagles do stuff, or just watching the sunrise, sunset, or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Stan 3 has a really good question here. It says, what is something, which you may have just answered it, but what is something you notice now fishing that you did not notice a year ago?
Definitely those flatheads moving out of the holes. So the first year we would fish, if you noticed in some of our videos, we caught 6 fish the one day and out of one hole. And we were like, oh, look at this, like, because we caught this many fish. But then I turned on the fish finder and stuff, and you couldn't see any fish down there anymore. They weren't sitting in that hole anymore. They all left. And I know we didn't even catch all of the ones that were down in that hole. But I really think they do go back down and tell their buddies, like, dude, something happened. Like, I was abducted. Like, something's going on. We have to move out of this hole. But they definitely moved out of that hole, and they didn't come back until the spring. They left that wintering hole and went to a different wintering hole because we were messing with them so hard. So I've definitely learned from last year, don't pull so many out of one hole.
Overpressure.
Don't overpressure them in that hole. Come back at a later date. So like if we catch 2 or 3 fish out of that hole for that day, we'll move and I'll move down to another hole where those fish are going to be. They seem to really like those deep holes in the fall.
That's very interesting. I think I like the idea of them going down and telling each other.
Right? I swear they do. Like the claw.
Can you imagine that conversation? Like, I was being drawn towards the light.
Right.
It turns out God wears glasses. Just looked at me and said, "It's not yet your time," and just let me go.
Go back, little buddy.
He said,
they took a picture of me. I don't understand, but they let me go.
They were talking to a camera, holding me up.
I told you not to mess with those hookers.
Yeah.
You should have learned that in school. What? All right, sorry. Okay, so JG Hill wants to know if you like to suspend fish over a hole, suspend fishing or bottom fishing for flatheads, which works best. Oh, there you go.
So we usually we are allowed 3 rods each in Ohio. So we have 6 out when we're fishing. A lot of the time, me and Allison will each have one suspended off the boat, depending on how deep the water is, and we'll bring it up off the bottom like 2 feet to kind of give it a depth change. And then the other 2 rods we will each throw out way further to the sides to see if we can get the fish off the sides of the hole that we're fishing. So
Stan 3 says, and he yelled, "Get your weight up," and threw me back.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome in Amelia. She wanted to come in and say hello. She's twinning just like her mother. Like, they're both even wearing the same pink shirt and same color shirt. Okay. But yeah, we'll definitely get with you guys. We don't have very many free weekends just because the way the kids' schedule works, that's every other weekend. So, like, we got the kids this weekend. Like the weekend of the 16th, I just showed her is like, I don't know for sure what our availability is, but maybe you guys are available then. And if not, we'll work something out within the week or 2 after that. But we'd love to get you guys to come down and either go to the High River or go to Hoover, whichever one you prefer. And see if we can't have, I guarantee we're going to have fun. We're going to have fun. We're going to eat something good, and we're going to have fun. Oh, yeah. And we just might catch a fish. What do you guys got for PBs on blue cats?
Allison has never caught a blue cat.
That takes the pressure way off.
See, and then mine is like I said, I'm pretty sure about 18 pounds out of Clendenning. So
same boat, same baits, same rods, same distances, same everything. I have never caught a blue cat. Every single blue cat she has caught, and it has been on her rod.
Most of them are small, though. Like I said, the biggest one was like 18 pounds. So,
well,
I haven't even caught a pickle blue.
That's bad. Well, we hope to change that.
No, yeah, we don't target them enough. And a lot of the waters we fish, any body of water around us you could go to, you'll catch channel cat, I promise. But the likelihood of catching flatheads or blues out of the waters around us is just very slim.
Yeah, same here. Like we said before, it's an hour drive for us in any direction to get to a blue cat.
Yeah. Apparently, we picked the wrong type of fishing because a lot of the waters around us in our area, they are muskie stocked like crazy. And I keep telling Allison, I'm like, man, I cannot afford to get into muskie fishing too. So
there you go. Curtis says it must be a lot easier to hone in on fish with 2 people trying something different. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's like a whole nother kind of, I guess, tactic or technique, I guess. Like, you have that extra person. You can always try. You can second guess yourself, and you can be like, okay, well, you're doing this, I'm doing this. We're allowed to have the 6 rods, so you could have 6 different bait outs if you want, one with just a hook, or one hooked up to a Santee rig, or just suspended, and you're trying all those different things. And I guess one thing we kind of really pride ourselves on too, we usually don't stick to like one body of water. We do challenge ourselves to go out, and we're constantly on different bodies of water. She's like, you want to go here? Let's try this place. So we're always changing things up and moving things around, and
This comment.
it's a good challenge, I guess.
Jackie shrunk.
Honey, I shrunk the kids.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. There you go. Jeremy says you have to come down and see me. I'll fix those PBs.
Yeah, no
I bet
joke.
you will.
Yeah.
That would be fish the size of people.
The size of you.
Yeah, no joke.
Tying rigs. Who does the tying of rigs? You guys both tie rigs? You guys like to? Does anybody?
I tie rigs most of the time for both of us. Just the way I do it, I don't know. Like every time before we go fishing, depending on what we're fishing for, I'll break down every rod, retie all the rigs and stuff like that. Get everything set up because she's always doing everything else. So
I can tie them. I know how to tie them. It's just kind of just one of those things. Like she kind of takes over that, and I'm taking care of everything else, and then we kind of meet in the middle. And
that's the perfect partner right there. Is when you both know what your responsibilities are, and you can count on each other. So like Jackie, I brag about her. I'll do a little more now she's not here because her head gets so big. But
she can't go back and listen on the live, right?
Oh, yeah, she can. But she has her jobs, and I have my jobs when it comes to putting the boat in. She's in charge of all the rods, making sure all the rods get on the boat, rod covers off. My side, her side. She puts everything up, backing me in, unhooking, dropping me. I'm responsible for a list of other things, and it works out really good when you both know you can count on each other to get their jobs done. So
yeah,
the lady's job is just to show up, be pretty, catch fish.
And the biggest fish, huh?
Well, she's got some work to do now to beat her brother at 27.5 pounds. So
she'll do it.
You're 15. 15. Okay. Well, she was ready for that. Yeah. 15 is her big fish. Well, you got to come fishing with us. Ain't that right? Like I said, here last week and a half, 2 weeks, the Ohio has been really good for me dragging. As long as the camera's not on. Turn the camera on and go.
That's the other half of the battle, right? The curse of the camera.
Yes.
Curse of the camera. I think it's real.
It is.
Hey, Mike Irvin, man, you're a little late, but I appreciate you stopping in. Anybody else got any questions? Benoit, you guys got anything else you want to add? Anything coming up soon to look out for?
We're gonna have our videos out every Monday at 7, like normal. We've been trying to make sure we're really consistent on that so that we always put out content. As far as anything in the future, we'll be at, like I said, we'll be at CatCon. We'll be at the gathering, hopefully this year. And hopefully when the spring comes back in, we'll be getting back on them flatheads as soon as possible. So, and we thank you guys though for having us on the show. And the only advice that I can say that any person who fishes, just spend the time on the water. It's the only way you're going to catch fish. Put the time in and the fish will definitely come to you.
There you go. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Like I said, you've fired up me, Jackie, Jeremy's admitted it. Some other folks have said the same thing. Seeing you guys putting these great fish in the boat and the videos that you guys are putting out are a lot of fun. And it just starts firing everybody up, because you know how it is. You start scrolling on Facebook or something, you're like, oh my God, they're tearing them up. Look at this.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I got to go. And you guys are, tight in with our community. And so when we start seeing you guys tear them up, it's like, I got to get a part of that. What the heck? And so I wanted to bring you all on and kind of share some of that excitement with everybody and just kind of dig a little bit of information out of you and see what you guys were up to. You definitely know your stuff. You guys are fun to watch and impressive. So
thank you so much.
That's no problem. All right, guys. If nobody else has anything, we're going to wrap. We went over an hour by a few, so we're going to wrap things up and hop on out of here. Wait for the election to wrap up and see what craziness ensues. It doesn't matter who you voted for or how it goes. Somebody's going to be mad. So.
Oh yeah, correct.
at the end of the day, you know what I say? It doesn't matter who you vote for. I liked you yesterday, and I like you tomorrow. Even if we don't agree on, even if people don't agree on political views or religious views and anything like that, doesn't mean we have to be cruel to each other. You know, treat each other with kindness.
Love everyone.
At the end of the day, the sun is still going to come up tomorrow. It's still going to set tomorrow. And it's going to keep doing that day in and day out, regardless of what you, I, or anyone else thinks or says. So love each other.
People that can make it a better place for each other.
That's it. 100%. All right, guys, we're going to get on out of here. We'll see you next Tuesday night. Same cat time, same chat. Tell them. Same cat channel. Tell them good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Well, I messed that all up, didn't I?